we are again, everybody. Jason Grandon with the Grandon Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team. Sorry, Robin. Look at that. We're so comfortable in the studio anymore, we don't even.
Got to get on the mic,
attention.
Jason.
I almost reached over and grabbed it, but.
Well, I'm just wondering, that shot in the camera, can you see her gum sitting on her phone?
Oh, come on now. I didn't want to be chewing it the whole time.
And so we have Robin.
We do have Robin.
We do have Robin here. Yes. And then we have Angela.
Hello.
VIP Mortgage.
Yes.
So how's it going?
It's good. It's it's just really good.
It is. We're like halfway through September, literally halfway through September.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the pumpkin up front here means we're heading into fall.
Yes.
And so in Arizona, I just posted a deal the other day. Fall, it's kind of like there's no change in temperature.
I know.
It's still like 120 degrees outside.
You're not joking. Yeah.
But it's a good time of year, though, don't you think?
It is. And we know, like, great weather is right around the corner.
Well,
kind of.
Good weather.
Oh,
yeah,
I think it's great.
Do you think?
Yes.
It's like Halloween before you have to start wearing a sweater out here, though.
Well, my birthday's in September, so I think it's great.
When's your birthday?
Next week.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to have a big party on next week's episode. So speaking of September, first of all, what's going on with mortgages? Anything good?
Yeah, everything good. Rates are still low. So if you're wanting to get pre-qualified, definitely need to call, get a plan together. I know the market is still
it's
crazy,
great. And, we're still getting calls. People are like, I want to rent a house. I'm going to spend $3,000 a month renting. And it's crazy. By the time you put deposits down and everything else, you can have a mortgage.
Yeah, and the thing with the mortgage is typically you get, like a 30-year fixed mortgage, or, there's different terms you can do, but you have a set payment typically, right? So with rents, we talk about those and where they are and how they're only going up and how there's no control. If you're the tenant, you can't control whether or not the owner is going to raise your rent a year from now.
And they're going to in this market.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, we get calls. People want to know about some of the programs where there's no money down, like the state pays for it. Is that still out there?
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of different programs. So it just kind of depends. We have a lot of down payment assistant programs. There's some teacher, VA, you name it, all kinds of programs that we could definitely talk about.
So it's a good free phone call. Plus, if you get a copy of your credit report, if you need to rent, then we can rent.
Yeah, and we go over all that stuff during the phone call. So it's it's just very educational. Whether you're looking to buy a month from now or a year from now, it's just good to get started with the phone call so you have a starting point. Then you know where you're going.
Well, and also I think it's a good idea to build a relationship, whether it's with us or Angela and them. It's a good idea to sit there and just kind of get to know somebody.
Right.
You want to know, you don't need to know all their personal details of their life, but you kind of want to know, hey, what do you like to do for fun? And
yeah, you do. Like you want to build a relationship. You want to know with, who you're working with, you can trust. You have a common philosophy, and yeah, I think it's a big deal. For sure.
No, it is. Well, since we're in September and the market's still hot, one of the things I love about September is all the events start in Arizona. So we got Fall Fest coming up. And just in the valley, you've got like Tempe Town Lake. They do their deal. Mm-hmm. We just did a deal last week with the 9/11 event.
Yes, that is amazing. Every single year, it's incredible what they do there.
They put up all those flags with everybody's name that was killed, and that deal is great. And then up north, we've got Mortimer's Farm starting with their pumpkin patches.
Yeah, there's so many incredible things, and I think we all welcome it just because during the summer, we're all stuck inside, right, because it's hot. We're either in the pool, inside at the mall or something, or in our houses. So it's really nice.
No, it is. So it's a great time to have the events out here. Mm-hmm. But it's also a great time to start like thinking about, okay, what am I going to do for the rest of the year? Because we've got Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas right on top of each other.
It'll be here before we know it, right?
So, it's a good time to buy a house. And I know a lot of people start thinking in September, this is a fact, that people start thinking about their lifestyle in their home in September and October.
For sure. And the holidays, and, if people are coming and families are getting bigger, people are moving from out of state here. A lot of people are wanting to. We found a lot of people are actually, if they're not first-time home buyers, they're looking to upgrade and buy their second or third home at this point. So there's a lot of great options out there and a lot you can do. I think people don't realize how much equity sometimes they have in their home and how they can utilize that, and sometimes have a very similar payment but a bigger home,
That's funny you bring that up, because I had a call this week, and the guy's like, I want a list of houses that are in foreclosure and short sale only. I don't want to see anything that's on the market. I only want foreclosure and short sales.
Interesting.
Next to impossible right now, because there's so much equity in these homes.
Right. Very few people I feel like will be going through a foreclosure just because many people have equity, and quite a bit of it. So why wouldn't you sell and, take that money? There's no
and even if you don't have equity, you can probably still get that money out.
Exactly.
Of your house, which is, it's crazy.
It is.
So that's kind of funny that you brought that up.
Yeah.
So there's one thing, though, that's great about the season, and that is the fact that we get to have your own parties. So we had a little Labor Day party and stuff like that. Now, I think it's better to have a party in your own house than a rental house.
I agree.
Do you agree with that?
We have parties all the time. We are the party house.
No, it is. And so
it's
people,
fun.
And you can get a home equity line of credit to go build a backyard and stuff.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can get a line of credit. You can do cash out refi, and you can take those funds to, not only improve the inside of your house, the outside, the front yard. Sky's the limit, really, with that stuff. So. Well,
and then as people, and we've got a lot of listeners that are out of state that are moving here.
Yep.
So right now, there's a lot of building going on.
There is, yes.
I mean, not just housing, but the freeways are being torn up. There's a ton of stuff going on in this town.
Yeah, they're really trying to improve on every single aspect, right? I think just because there are so many people moving here, we need to be, make sure that we're prepared. We don't want to have
and we got a lot of companies moving here too.
Yeah, it's incredible. Even up north a little bit more, kind of where I live, it's crazy.
And the East Valley is crazy and stuff. I know you live up north. So
Yeah.
you've got that big tech center going in there, which is going to increase the values.
Huge. I mean, the amount of land they bought up over there is...
They're spending $12 billion.
It's insane.
It
is. To drive by, it's mind-blowing, really.
So what are you getting for calls? People are calling, and are they teeter-tottering?
Not really. I think the majority of our calls are people just wondering, like I said, if they're already in a home, they want to know, how can I leverage, the amount of equity I have in this home to buy up. Maybe their families are getting bigger. In some cases, they have, family moving from out of state, and they're, all going to live here in Arizona, or just everybody has kind of a different experience. But I would say a lot of times we get calls with clients just wanting to know, they have no idea even what to do to begin. I would say that's the biggest thing we get.
And we're getting a lot of calls too. We're starting to get calls now of people that were, over the past few months, they've been mad because they've been getting beat out, and they're trying to get back into it.
Yep.
And it's great. So now this is one thing. This is probably a statistic I'm kind of maybe making up a little bit, but it's but I think it's true though. More women, especially younger women, are interested in buying homes than younger guys. So we're getting a lot of young professional. They just get out of school, and they're more interested in saying, okay, you know what? I've been saving some money. I'm out of college. I want to buy a house. Whereas I get a lot of the guys who are like, well, I'm going to rent for another year or two. And it's kind of changes the dynamic of Arizona, which is one of the greatest places to live.
It is. I've lived here my whole life. I wouldn't really want to live anywhere else. So I agree.
So if
with
you were
that,
just getting out of college, would you?
I wish when I was just getting out of college, I would have the money I spent renting. I rented an apartment for a while. I spent as much on that apartment as I spend currently on my mortgage.
That's crazy.
Insane. Yeah. So I very much wish I would have invested right out of college when I was younger into housing and real estate, because then I would be a lot better off when it came to, I'd probably keep that house, and at this point, maybe that would be a rental, so a source of income for me, and I would have moved on to, buy the home I bought. But
it is. I mean, we even make the case that they should call you, and, kids that are 18 can buy a house through their parents, right? So kind of like a kiddie condo program.
Oh, yeah. And some, depending, what if they're going to school, if they have a job, they're very capable to get a house, right? If you have income and you have good credit. So,
and the reason we're talking about this today is just to kind of give you a feel of what's kind of the vibe in Arizona. And so you're seeing younger women starting to buy their first home, and then you're seeing the families buy. Mm-hmm. And the one thing they were running out of, though, is land. And we're getting a lot of families that want to buy a home. Hey, we got 2 kids now, and we need to buy a house. And it's tough to find a house that's got a 10,000 square foot plus lot for a decent price.
Right. I would say, even anywhere, all over the valley, anywhere you drive along the freeways, you're going to see, like even on the west side of town, I mean, a ton of new homes going like really far out there. I grew up on the west side of town, and where they're building homes now, I couldn't even have imagined that would be, somewhere where somebody would live one day. It's just
I was just through one of the communities,
Yeah.
and they build these homes on like little stamps, and there's no yard.
Yeah.
So that's affecting the way people look at the real estate market out here as well.
Yeah, I totally agree.
They make great rentals though.
They do. Yes. Like I said, I wish I would have did that very early on. I waited a little longer than I wish I would have to invest in real estate.
Now, one of our greatest landmarks out here in Phoenix, out by you, is Luke's Air Force Base.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And so I know now if you buy a house in the immediate area, you've got to break out the little map and show people that there's like the little sound barrier.
Yep.
The flight plan.
Yep.
And so I personally love it, and
I do
yet
too.
people move in and they complain.
Yeah, that's interesting to me because, they should be aware that that's there. We've lived where we lived since my daughter was 6 months old. So she was a baby. And you could hear them at night fly over. I love it. I mean, it never woke her up and it didn't. To me, it's a wonderful thing. It's a sign of freedom, and I welcome it. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so then one of the other emails we got was about dating in Arizona. And so I know before the show, we had this, Robin's in there laughing. We had this conversation about it and stuff. And so I know, you're married. I'm married. Robin's not married. Yeah. But is that
what are
bad?
You saying, Jason?
So dating in Arizona, there's unlike California, you don't have your amusement parks and stuff. Yeah. So what's it like? What are you hearing?
Well, I have some friends who are not married, and I think it's tricky, right? I'm thankful, I guess, that I did meet my husband and I am married, because the stories that they tell me, it's a little bit tricky out there knowing where to go, who to trust. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that I hear from them. It's like, where do you meet good people? Like-minded people.
Where do you go?
Yeah.
There's a place over in like Desert Ridge, which is a mall out here. And the restaurant there, Barrio Queen, really good Mexican restaurant, is just like always packed. And it looks like it's first dates all the time. Yeah. People just kind of hanging there, drinking margaritas and stuff. Yeah. But so where do people go? Is it mostly restaurants?
I would say, it's funny you bring this up, because literally just last night I was talking to a friend of mine. It's actually my husband's best friend. And he was like, where do I go? Like, he's a chef. He's into food. Like, he has a certain amount of professionalism, and he's like, where do I go to find, like, do I just go to the restaurant and sit there and wait for somebody to walk through the door? And
you mean, did he already have a pre-planned date?
No, like, do you go there to meet people? Do you like just go and sit at the bar and just kind of wait for somebody to come and sit by you?
That sounds like a 90s deal.
I know.
Doesn't it? Sounds like something we used to do in the 90s. Just hang out. I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I told him. I said, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know.
So my 15-year-old is kind of at the dating stuff, and all they do is sit on the phone. And so, like, dating seems to me like it's just, they sit on Snapchat or whatever the social media stuff is. It's really weird. It's a lot different than it was 15 years ago.
I never experienced that, and I'm really thankful. Because, then how do you know? Like, we're supposed to be dating, but then you're got these other people.
Well, and there's so many great places to go eat. So, I mean, why wouldn't you take...
I guess you got to eat anyways. So if you go and you happen to meet somebody and have a good conversation, then cool. I think, yes, in person, you need to go meet people in person.
Well, and then also, okay,
My opinion.
So I had a guy call a couple weeks ago. You'll love this. Robin will love it because it was probably her boyfriend. This guy calls and he's like, hey, listen, I need to live in Greyhawk. I cannot spend more than $900 a month. And for those of you that don't know Greyhawk, you're not getting anything for $900 a month.
How do you do that?
It's kind of an upper end area. So anyway, I find this little one bedroom on the 3rd floor, like 700 square feet, for like just under $1,000. So I meet him there, and he pulls up in a brand spanking new Maserati. And I ask him about it, and it's leased. And so I know his lease has to be about $1,200 a month. And so I'm like, hey, you're driving this $1,200 a month car. Why are you renting instead of buying a place? He said, oh, well, I've got to be able to impress the girls.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking, well, they might be impressed with the car, but when they get home to your 500 square foot condo, they're not going to be very impressed.
But it's in Greyhawk.
It is in Greyhawk.
The car impressing thing doesn't work anymore.
Well, that's it. So, and that's a 2000 thing as well, don't you think?
That's an old school thing. It doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, it exists because this guy's still.
Yeah, I mean, somebody must go for it, but yeah, I'm with you, Robin. I don't.
And what about clubs? Does anyone go to clubs anymore?
I don't know. Since the pandemic hit, I'm not sure if the clubs are even open for that.
So it's crazy because Arizona is a hot spot. I mean, that's why a lot of people live here.
Yeah.
Because of the clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've never been a clubber, but we've seen some of the people that go to them. So I don't know. So that's dating in Arizona. So it's a good place to live in Arizona. You're gonna date, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you got great restaurants.
You know what? I know several great guys who are single. So I welcome anybody. Give me a call.
Oh, see that?
Yeah.
We're no longer a real estate show. We are now a dating show.
Yes.
Angela's got guys and stuff, and I don't know anybody. So, and the other thing I want to touch base on today too, which is, and we'll touch on it as we get closer to Christmas as well, but everybody, they get a house and they get settled in and stuff, and the first thing they do is what when they move into a house? Maybe get a pet.
Oh, I was going to say buy furniture.
Oh,
but
they do buy furniture. Speaking of that, do not buy furniture until you close.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you guys will think, oh, I'm going to close on my house next week, and you go spend $20,000 on furniture.
Oh, no.
What happens?
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it changes your debt to income, right?
It does, absolutely.
And then you don't get the loan.
Right.
But anyway, so pets. And I know earlier this summer we talked about making sure the people that go outside, when you're walking your dog, you might not realize when it's 110 outside that ground is really hot and burns your dog's feet.
Oh, for sure.
So,
if you can't walk barefoot, they can't either.
No, exactly, exactly. And we'll get into this closer to Christmas, but if you're getting a pet, make sure you plan on keeping the pet. We get so many people that move and they're like, oh, I can't take Fluffy with me. And then they end up giving this 6-7-year-old dog or cat to somebody else, and it's supposed to be part of your family.
Yeah, I agree.
That's kind of a pet peeve of mine.
I'm with you. We have a dog. I love him. I can't imagine what would happen in my life for him not to be a part of our family.
No,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's a big deal.
And the other thing too, so renters, there's a lot of dogs on that breed restricted list.
Yes.
So you have no choice but to buy if you want to have a dog sometimes too.
We had a client who actually that was her number one reason for wanting to buy a home. She's like, I've always wanted a certain type of dog, and she's like, I rent. I've always rented. She was, I think in her late 40s, and she's like, I've always been a renter. I've always wanted this dog. I've never been able to have it. I'm buying a house, and I'm buying the dog I've always wanted.
Oh, see, that's great.
Yeah, and she did. So, it's
and
a
by the
great
way,
story.
Animals are not good housewarming gifts for people.
Oh, goodness, no.
We get them. No. I mean, there was a while back there we were giving out, if you bought a house, we had a breeder that had some different dogs, like English Bulldogs, and those things are super cute.
Yes.
But they're also very high maintenance, kind of like our producer, Robin. And
really, dude?
So, and they are. So you got to wipe out the wrinkles and stuff.
Yeah.
So, we'd ask, hey, you want the dog for a housewarming gift? But they're generally not good housewarming gifts, any kind of animal.
Yeah. Well, and I think you have to, especially like you said, it's a lifelong pet. I mean, as long as they live, right? Hopefully. So you want to make sure that you are capable and willing to care for all their needs. And yeah, some breeds are more... I don't even know what to say. Difficult to maintain.
No, exactly.
Whatever. Well, need more things.
And since we're out here in the desert, especially up north by us where we live, people think it's great to get like one of those birds that yell parrots or a turtle. Oh. And now keep in mind with a turtle, it's going to outlive you, your kids, and probably their kids. Yeah. So you got to make arrangements like for 5 generations.
Right.
So it's just little things people don't think about.
Yeah, that's true.
And you got to still take care of them too.
Right.
And they get huge.
I know.
So
my neighbor has one. It's huge.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. So these are kind of little things that we just wanted to kind of talk about on today's show.
Yeah.
I know we're always bringing on guests and, doing fun stuff like that, but sometimes we just need to kind of touch base on the real stuff.
Yeah, I feel like we kept it real today.
No, we keep it real and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's still important to go out and get pre-qualified, right, Angela?
Absolutely, yes. Even if you're thinking about it in the future, if you're thinking this is something I want to do a year from now,
right.
Start with a conversation, give us a call, and just figure out where you are so you know where you're going. If you don't make that call, you just don't know.
And then one thing, if somebody's changing a job, it does affect your mortgage. If you're a bus driver and then you switch to being
careers.
You switch careers. That make it kind of hard to get a loan, right?
That's a factor. So you definitely want to have those conversations. And like I said, even if you're thinking about it, just make the phone call. There's no obligation. We're only there to help.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
And also, we said this in other episodes. You got to make sure that whoever you hire is working for you. So
correct.
Evenings, weekends.
Yeah.
If you say you want a 3-bedroom, then why am I sending you 5-bedroom homes? Stuff like that. So,
right.
Our job's probably to listen more than anything else.
Yeah, you have to be a good listener. For sure.
That's good.
I like that.
That is.
Yeah.
You're a good listener.
Oh, thanks.
I feel better. This is kind of like a therapy session.
It is, yes.
So,
and we have Robin, so that's great.
Yeah, and then you got Robin back. And we'll have Robin on one of the shows one of these days because I know some people ask who she is.
I would love that. Yeah.
She's
great.
Fun.
Yeah.
So she has a show on the same network here.
She does. It's amazing.
It's a good show. It's a lot darker than this one.
There's always light after darkness.
That's true.
See?
That is true.
Yes.
That is true. Oh, and so finally, one other thing. Are more people streaming or do they do cable and dish and internet?
That's a good one.
It is.
Yeah.
So I just got my internet bill and it was like $150 and then dish or DirecTV on top of that was another $3.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
I'm with you. We're doing the same thing you're doing. So.
And I think...
But we do stream some things. So I'm like, why do we have all this stuff?
Right, exactly.
Why do we have all the things?
The younger generation, and I'll say 30 and under, are streaming.
I agree.
And the older ones that can't figure out how to use controllers are...
Yes.
So that's another thing to think about. And these are all factors you want to take into when you buy a house, even rent.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all that goes into... Yeah, and a lot of times, like when you're trying to budget, like, okay, I want to make a goal of being able to afford to get into a house. So right now, where can I, am I having coffee every single day and spending $10? Or, it's just about where you see your growth.
And they're easy fixes too. So if you're going to Starbucks on a daily basis, you're probably spending $6 a day, right?
At least, yeah.
And so that's $180 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
If not more. And if you go twice a day or bring somebody with you and you buy for them.
Yes.
So, and then your cable bill, if you're spending $150 a month on internet, it all adds up. That's a couple grand a year.
That's a lot. Yeah, it adds. It all adds up
It
for
does.
sure. So
it's good, especially like in September. This is a good time to talk about it. To make a list of all your expenses, and then look what you can kind of knock out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good to set up a plan now because, like you said, the new year is literally around the corner.
Right.
And so set up a plan now so that you could start the year with a fresh plan. It's not too early. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait till December or January 1st to figure out what you want to do.
No, that's a good point.
Year, so
you guys make a list, and if you have a goal to buy a house, talk to Angela and her team at VIP, right?
Absolutely.
And say, okay, I'm going to be qualified for $2,000 a month, and I can hit that goal if I cut out this. And sometimes, like cutting your cable bill, if you don't want to cut it out, you can just lower the plan and save $30-$40 a month.
Exactly.
Or your cell phone bills.
Check it out. I think we get so desensitized to our normal bills. At least I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, like I'm just used to paying certain things over and over. But it's a big deal to sit down and go, okay, now where is all my money going every once in a while and take evaluation of that.
And one of the big things, people just automatically charge their credit card every month with certain things, and you'd be amazed.
Yes.
Like I just found a charge that we were getting charged $9 a month for something the kids were using.
Yeah.
And we're like, we never
what
use
is
it.
this? Yeah, we don't need this.
So,
$9 a month adds up.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun today.
It was fun. It's always fun.
It is always fun.
This.
So if you guys have questions, make sure you reach out to the GRANDON Group and we can help you out there. Angela, how can people reach you and the Hendricks team?
Yeah, so by phone, 623-979-5523, or by email, hendrickteam@vipmtginc.com.
Hey, it's also important to know that many of you that are looking for houses, you feel like, I got to call a realtor for this. You don't necessarily, you definitely want to call the GRANDON Group, myself and my sister and our team. But if you call Angela and the team over at VIP Mortgage, they can answer a lot of your questions too. So I know some people are like, I don't want to tell the realtor this. And everything's always confidential. It's not like she calls up and says, hey, this guy called with a 300 credit score.
Oh, dear, no. Yeah,
So-
we wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's confidential. Maybe it's not obvious, but it
Right.
is. It definitely is a confidential conversation. And it is important to call us and get pre-qualified, because when you do talk with the Grandon Group, they're going to want to know that you've got pre-qualified.
Well, and then sometimes it's just easier to talk to somebody else that
Yeah.
you're not going to be dealing with
Yeah.
all the time. So sometimes
Exactly.
it's easy to call,
Yep.
Robin and tell her a problem that I don't
Yes.
want anyone else knowing about.
Exactly.
That's what her show's
That's her
about.
role. Yeah.
Radio
Yeah.
psychic at your service.
She'll sit there on her show and you can say, "Hi, I'm thinking about this," and she'll go into a 2-hour dissertation on it of why you're thinking like that. That's why you're wearing blue shoes. So, right, Robin?
Yeah, you love me.
Oh, we do. We do. So, hey, anyways,
Yeah,
great little fun show today.
for sure.
So, Angela, how do they reach out to you again?
623-979-5523.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then Grandon Group, you can go to grandongroup.com. You can also check us out at Dave Pratt Star Worldwide Networks, our show there, thelockbox.tv, grandongroup.com. And so if you guys have questions, you want to buy or sell. Hey, speaking of that, real quick, there's a lot of listings coming on. I mean, over the past few weeks, we've been getting a lot of people wanting to list their homes.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, which is
So,
great.
It is.
Because there's a lot of buyers out there.
There are 300
So-
people a day moving here, so
Yes.
it's great.
Yes.
So, anyways, hey,
Cool.
great seeing you guys again. If you guys have any questions, Grandon Group, and we'll see you next week on another episode of The Lockbox.
Bye, guys.